Stadium in Denver, Colorado. It's the Miami Dolphins versus the Denver Broncos. Brought to you by Renault. European technology built in America. Make Renault the one to watch. By Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Ryder Truck Rental. When you move it yourself, it's Ryder or it's wrong.
Despite sub-freezing temperatures, the usual sellout, they've sold out Mile High Stadium every game since 1970. Despite 6 inches to a foot of snow, yesterday and last night we're ready to go. The Miami Dolphins 2-1 against the Broncos 2-1. Both teams lost their opener, but have bounced back the last 2 weeks. Hello, everyone. Dick Kenberg with Merlin Olsen. Welcome to Mile High Country. And these teams are coming off good wins.
They're ready, and they're coming off encouraging wins. These Broncos have lived off their defense the last couple of years. Right now, they're thrilled because they scored 44 points. They're high in the last 5 years. The Broncos shut out Kansas City, and there it goes.
High and end over end, Lorenzo Hampton of the Dolphins. The 15, the 19 is all. Miami gets the ball first, and will start just inside their 20-yard line. Lineups with Dan Marino, the opener for Miami, and this is how the starting 11 looks. Dwight Stevenson, an all-pro center. Lee and Foster at guard. Green and Giesler, the tackles. The tight end is Bruce Hardy. Mark Clayton, a sensational wide receiver, along with veteran Nat Moore for Mark Duper. Nathan and Bennett, the veterans behind Marino, but we certainly will see Hampton and Davenport a lot as well. Marino out of the backfield to Nathan, who's down after a 2-yard gain at the 22. Defensively, the Orange Crush, and they can call themselves that now. They worked that out, a little off-the-field negotiation. Carter, the veteran nose tackle, with Chavis playing in another game, his second longevity in Bronco history. Jones is the top sack maker, and the outside Rulon Jones. The linebackers are Ryan, Dennis, and Busick, the top tackler last year, and Woodard for the injured Tom Jackson. Louis Wright, Mike Harden at the corners. Steve Foley and Dennis Smith. Smith is back in the lineup after suffering a shoulder injury in the opener against the Rams, and for the first time that defensive back four intact, and that pleases Dan Reeves. 2nd and 8 for Miami. Nathan, and he's corralled after a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Let's go back and look at those matchups for a second, Dick, at offense against the defense. Big play man, Mark Clayton. They'll be trying to get him deep today. And I'm really going to keep an eye on Dennis Smith. When you have a shoulder injury like that, you got to be very careful. Any hit could reactivate that injury. The critical matchup on the line of scrimmage. Dwight Stevenson against the nose man Carter. We'll be looking at those two.
Marino in a passing situation from the Miami 25. Under pressure, and that's the first time Marino has been sacked this year, and credit Andre Townsend with it. The first 3 games, Marino protected like fine crystal, but the Broncos get him on the 3rd play of the game.
Number 61, Andre Townsend, will come from the right of your screen, and they've got a hot receiver out, but they couldn't get that ball away. Marino's quick release did not help him there.
Reggie Roby averaging 45 yards a punt. The deep man is Will Hyde at the 35 for Denver, and what a kick by Roby. A high spiral to the 30. Will Hyde, 35. Over his own man to the 42-yard line. The Broncos will begin at their own 42. A 50-yard punt by Roby, a dozen yards on the return. John Elway brings the Bronco offense on the field in good field position at the Bronco 42. Bryan, an outstanding center with Hood and Howard at guard. Studdard and Lanier the tackles. They use the H-back system, 2 tight ends here in Denver. We'll see Kay and Wright bookending that line with veteran Butch Johnson and clever Steve Watson on the outside. And the single running back, usually Sammy Winder, number 3 in the EFC rushing last year, behind Elway. But they start with 2 backs and move Steve Sewell, the top draft choice out of Oklahoma. That's Sewell to the far left. First down at the 42. Winder, a good hole, and he has about 5 to the 47 before Mark Brown can make the tackle for Miami. Killer bees, and they were that to Kansas City last week, shutting out the Chiefs. Charles, a bright young nose tackle with a top sack maker Betters on one end and veteran Kim Bokamper the other. The linebackers Shiver, Brown, Ship, and Brzezinski his first start since a long holdout. Judson and Langford are at the corners. Brown and Blackwood, Glenn Blackwood at safety. 6 Bs among the 11 starters on defense. 2nd and 5. Elway to Sewell, and a first down at the 40-yard line. Steve Sewell, his second catch in the NFL. The top pick out of Oklahoma by the Broncos, and Dan Reeves indicated yesterday he wants to use this man more.
Reeves talked about the catching ability of number 30, Steve Sewell. He said this guy could be a great wide receiver. Watch Sewell. He's just going to go down and duck to the inside. He has got great hands and knows how to get open. Has not played much as a wide receiver. Whoa, look at that. Boy, they nailed him, but he has fine moves and excellent hands.
That was Bud Brown who made the hit. Sewell now is way out to the right side, and Butch Johnson in motion. Elway to Winder inside the 40 and slices to about the 38-yard line before Bub Brzezinski can make the tackle. Here, no score early. Now let's go to NFL 85.
All right, Dick, with Jim Plunkett out and then Mark Wilson having turned an ankle, in comes rookie Rusty Hilger. His first attempt, his first completion, his first touchdown to Todd Christensen. Then they get an interception return for a TD to up their lead to 35-20.
Here, no score early. 2nd down and 7 for the Denver Broncos at the 38-yard line. Sewell in motion. Winder's going to throw a pass, and not a very good one, that falls in an empty spot at the 15-yard line. Watson and Sewell were both there, but Winder shot putting that ball downfield. Winder trying to cross up the Miami defense.
Well, you'd like to foul people up a little bit with that outside move, but Winder didn't come to run. You've got to come to run if you expect to fool people with that kind of play. That was indeed a shot put into open spaces.
From the Miami 38-yard line, 3rd down and 7. Out of the shotgun for the first time, Elway. Using his mobility, going for Clint Simpson. Incomplete. Clint Sampson had a possible touchdown, couldn't hang on. He was trying to keep his feet in the end zone, may have taken his eye off the ball. Very nearly 6 for Denver. Sampson has a touchdown in each of the first 3 games.
One of the things that Elway has, quick feet. He can get outside. He loves to run and throws well on the run. This is right on target, but the ball is batted away at the last instant. You saw it right there. That's Langford, number 44, Paul Langford, and without that tap, would have been a touchdown, Dick.
Chris Norman to punt. And the ball kicks into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line for the Miami Dolphins. Now, no score. We've played almost 5 minutes of this first quarter in 29-degree temperatures at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Dick, I believe I said at the top of the show that the Dolphins, or that Denver had shut out Kansas City. Of course, that was the Dolphins, and they've been looking for their defense for quite a while. They've been living off the strong arm of Marino, but they shut out a strong Kansas City team last week. They'd been averaging Kansas City over 40 points a game. They found their defense. Let's see, of course, how they're going to do in this game. Right now, though, it's Denver's defense.
Marino with more left and Clayton right. Ron Davenport, no, it's Woody Bennett for 3. Down at the bottom of the pile, 52, Ken Woodard from Tuskegee Institute. Other scores in the NFL. Tampa Bay has lost to the Lions 30-9. And they're in overtime in Philadelphia. The Giants and the surprising Eagles are tied at 10. 7. Marino's second pass attempt. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. Dennis Smith. Good coverage on Bruce Hardy, the tight end. You don't see Marino roll out that much. Dan Marino, the NFL Player of the Year. Brilliant season. 64% of his passes completed last year. Set an NFL record. Most yardage. Set an NFL record with an incredible 48 touchdowns. Both men, Elway and Marino, picked in the first round 3 years ago. He was the very first man taken. Marino, the 6th quarterback, picked as the 27th player. And matched up today for the first time. 3rd and 7. Out of the backfield, incomplete, intended for Nathan. He was covered by Woodard. And the defense of the Broncos gets the Orange Crush salute.
Dan Marino said that when he came back, played his first game of the season, he was getting the good reads, but he simply wasn't able to deliver the ball on target. And you kind of had the same feeling here. Read the play properly, had the receiver open, couldn't get the ball on target.
First punt went 50 yards, and this one is going to be just as good. A hummer that Wilhite goes back to collect. 23-30, and down the sidelines, Wilhite with an excellent return out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Gerald Wilhite returns at 17 yards. A 53-yard punt by Roby appeared to be good coverage, but Wilhite made a good move going to the short side of the field. And again, Elway and the Broncos start outside their own 40-yard line.
Roby puts that ball so high, it's unbelievable.
Butch Johnson left. Steve Watson to the right. No score. We're 9 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first quarter. Winder to the 50, into the 49 before Bud Brown and Paul Langford can make the tackle. Close to 10 yards for Winder.
Winder was the only player on this team to make the Pro Bowl last year. He's still the workhorse of this Bronco offense.
It's just shy of a first down, so it'll be 2nd down and inches for the Denver Broncos. We welcome those of you who have seen the Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Seattle Seahawks 28-7 here at Mile High Stadium in freezing temperatures. No score early, 8:45 left first quarter. 2nd down and inches, and Sammy Winder slamming forward for a first down at the Miami 46-yard line. Betters and Charles and Beaucamper all there to make the stop.
The first 2 times that the Broncos have put their hands on the football, they've started in good field position. Sammy Winder getting up to get him a first down. They picked up an opportunity here on about the 46. Let's see if Elway doesn't try and capitalize with a pass.
Winder the lone setback. It's Winder again, trying to pick a hole and ducks into about the 43, a gain of 3. Jackie Shipp from Oklahoma and Bob Brzezinski, who played his football at Ohio State, make the stop.
We'll be keeping an eye on both those players. Brzezinski just came into camp a week ago yesterday, Dick, and Jackie Shipp, who was called by Sports Illustrated the bust of the NFL draft of '84, has come on to where they're talking about him now as being the critical player in this Miami defense. Both of them in on that last tackle.
Gene Lang, 33, joins Winder in the backfield, and Elway doesn't like the call, and the Broncos will spend an early timeout. Comes with 7 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Other scores, a final, and that was after the Redskins jumped in front 10-0 in the first quarter, and the Bears then had a kickoff return by Gault of around 100 yards, Willie Gault, and they just used that kind of speed as an indicator and roared past the Redskins, who are now 1-3.
We talked to those Redskins back there. Well, they said they don't play well till their backs are against the wall. Well,
this is it.
This is it.
1-3.
Yeah, time to go to work.
We talked with both Don Shula yesterday and Dan Reeves, the head coach of the Broncos, about comparing Elway and Marino. And it was interesting that Elway, despite the strength of the arm, it was Shula talking about his feet that worried him most.
He talked about the scrambling ability of Elway. And of course, Elway on that last big play in the first drive got outside to do some nice work. There are about 4 or 5 different areas in which you compare the quarterbacks, and we'll take some time to do that for you a little bit later, because I think it'd be interesting to you to hear what these two coaches had to say about not only their own quarterbacks, but about the opposing quarterback.
Orange, the dominant color here in Mile High Stadium. Very rarely will you see an empty seat. 75,000 plus. The 111 sellout. 2nd and 7. The give is to Gene Lang, and Lang from LSU, an 11th round draft pick last year, is dropped for a loss by Mark Brown. Brown shooting through. He played his football for the Boilermakers of Purdue.
Gene Lang had a big week last week, surpassing his total yardage for NFL carries, but not able to go anywhere. That was a nice slicing move by Brown, who penetrated deeply into the backfield. Simply wasn't fooled by that misdirection play.
There's Lang's numbers, almost twice as many as he collected all last year as a rookie. Elway facing 3rd and 11. Blitz by Sowell, but look at Elway move out of the pocket and go long. It is Butch Johnson, incomplete, broken up at the last moment.
But Brown, number 43, and that's twice that Elway's receivers have had the ball almost in their hands, only to see it knocked away by a Miami defender at the last second. You'll see here why Shula is afraid of the mobility of Elway. Look how much extra time he gets with that scramble. And then that powerful arm throw. Watch it right here, though. Bud Brown at the last second, cutting in front of the receiver and batting that ball away. Good defensive play.
Chris Norman to punt. His first went into the end zone. Short. It's it toward the sidelines, and it kicks out of bounds at about the 11. Out of bounds, 11-yard line. So it's a good kick for Norman, and the Dolphins once again will start deep in their own end. They've had 3 possessions. They've started at the 20 twice and now the 11, whereas Denver's 2 possessions have begun outside their own 40-yard line.
Field position critical in a game like this. Dick, let's talk about those 2 quarterbacks. Let's talk about the 2 quarterbacks and what these coaches had to say about them. It was interesting to me that Reeves was saying that both arm strengths were about equal. Shula, on the other hand, feels that Elway has the stronger arm. Reeves would give the toss on quickness, of course, to Elway, and Shula, on the other hand, of course, gives mobility to Elway.
Marino with that lightning quick arm. There it is, but dropping the ball is Ron Davenport, number 30, the rookie from Louisville, a 6th round draft pick. He has been a most pleasant surprise. In fact, coming into the game, leads Miami in rushing with 154 yards. Big guy, 6'2" and 230. When he went down to the field for our opener, Merlin Olsen took one look at 3. He said, boy, he's a lot bigger than I thought.
He is a huge running back and has surprising speed, good burst speed. Anytime you can get a big man like that who can catch the ball well, who can run well, you've got yourself a find.
2nd down and 10 for Marino. Bennett in motion. Oh, nothing there for Davenport. Davenport found an orange sofa right at the line of scrimmage, and a gain maybe of a yard.
Woody Bennett has been pushed into service more and more as an H-back and a tight end because of Dan Johnson's absence from the lineup. Has done very well on that play. Simply ran into too much orange defense.
He threw a block, but there were still 2 other Denver defenders to stop Davenport. Now Marino having a shout. Vince Heflin way out to the right side. Down the middle and wide open is Joe Rose, and the tight end has a first down near the 29-yard line. 16 yards, Marino to Rose, who has his 7th catch of the year.
You saw Dan shake his head. Yeah, that's what we want, more of that. What a fine quarterback he's been at being able to spot those open receivers. He has great vision and seemed to have it right from the first day. He wasn't someone who had to fight his way into learning to read the NFL defenses. He just seemed to have those great eyes right off the start.
4 touchdowns in 3 games. He was getting about 4 a game last year on his way to 48. Good play action, screen to Davenport, fumbles, and does Denver have it in bounds? Yes, they do at the 25-yard line. Rulon Jones, number 75. Welcome those those of you who have been following NFL action on NBC in Seattle, here in Denver, a big play with no score in the first quarter, 5 minutes remaining in the period. A screen pass to rookie Ron Davenport. Davenport fumbles. Rulon Jones has recovered for the Broncos, and the first break goes to Denver at the Miami 25-yard line.
Good play, stripping the ball, number 75, Rulon Jones. Busick has a chance. It was finally Jones who pulled it in, and they have the football for the third time today in Miami territory.
Jones forced the fumble and then recovered it. Elway goes to this side, complete to Clarence Kay, his tight end, and Kay is down at the 20-yard line. Bud Brown, who has been in on several defensive plays already, makes another hard hit from his safety spot.
You get a feeling as you watch Elway for that arm whip. He throws that ball so very hard. Concern here in Denver when so much snow was falling yesterday, because last year in a very snowy Monday night game, Elway was totally ineffective, could not throw the football. He's altered his grip a little bit this year. He's not throwing with as much power in the wet weather.
2nd and 4, and Winder out of a crowd and ad-libs his way for 5. Sammy Winder stopped cold and just spun his way out before the whistle sounded and turned no gain into 3 or 4. He's close to a first down inside the Miami 16.
Defensively, you never stop till the whistle blows. Look right there. Betters had a hold of Winder. Could not get him to the ground. Winder just spun out and gets good yardage. That's making something out of nothing.
And in turn, Bob Brzezinski made an excellent defensive play, showing good speed to track him down when Winder appeared he might go all the way. 3rd and less than a yard. Elway sneaks it in for the first down to the 13. Appeared, Merlin, for a moment that he was having trouble handling the snap.
Anytime the temperature drops down below freezing, that ball starts to get hard. That is leather, and it starts to take on a different texture. You'll see more fumbles. You'll see more balls bouncing around today than you would on a warm day.
Dallas breaking a 10 all tie in the fourth quarter to win at Houston 17-10. And St. Louis winning 43-28 over the Packers. Saw the Giants won in overtime at Philadelphia. Good blocking for Sammy Winder, and Bud Brown again comes up to make a hit. Gain of about 3. It appeared to be set up for much more for Winder, but good pursuing defense by the Killer Bee defense. 2:44 remaining in the first quarter. No score, and Denver is at the Miami 10.
Delight their fans with the first touchdown.
Try for point. Kubiak to hold for Carlos, and he's got it. Glenn Hyde with a snap. He's taking over for the injured Keith Bishop. 7-0 Denver. And Gene Lang pleased with his second touchdown as he accepts the congratulations from Butch Johnson and company.
If you're a Denver Bronco, you're very happy. If you're on the other sideline right now, Shula would very much like to have kept his team in the lead here, because you can keep this crowd quiet if you do that. There's no question you pay a price when you come into Denver. This is a noisy crowd, a knowledgeable football crowd. They love to be a part of the game, and Dan Reeves and his Broncos have just brought them in very enthusiastically by getting off on the right foot here with a touchdown.
Rulon Jones forcing a fumble from rookie Ron Davenport. Covering that fumble at the 25, and the Dolphins marching in for the score. Hits it deep. Lorenzo Hampton at the goal line. The rookie from Florida has a piece of daylight and then is tripped up at the 27-yard line. Mike Harden may have saved a very long gain by Hampton. He was just breaking into the clear.
Both of these teams went after running backs with their first picks. Hampton, of course, someone that they're very excited about in Miami. Showed us good speed there. I think you're right. If he breaks open, he's gone.
Harden just got enough of him to knock him off balance. Elway now talking with his coaches upstairs as Dan Marino is in the spotlight. Miami trailing 7-0. 2:09 left first quarter. From the 27. Hampton, or is it Nathan, to the 28-yard line, and that's all. The Bronco defense tough against the run. Tony Nathan from Alabama, the veteran, getting a yard or two. At the 29-yard line, call it 2nd down and 8. Miami losing to Houston in the opener at the Astrodome, then winning convincingly against Indianapolis and Kansas City, a 31-0 shutout last week. Nathan to the 30 and maybe the 32. Those of you who were not with us from the opening kickoff, Dan Marino, who was not sacked in any of the first 3 games, was nailed on his first pass attempt today by Andre Townsend of the Denver Broncos. Mile High Stadium in Denver. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Raiders in New England. The Raiders down, rallied in the second half to beat the Patriots 35-20. Here, Denver, after a fumble recovery at the Miami 25. Gene Lang scored on a 10-yard run. They lead 7-0. We're in the final minute of the first quarter. Marino, 3rd and 5. Down the middle and wide open. Nat Moore, the veteran. Dennis Smith can't get him. Moore has a touchdown. 69 yards. Matt Moore from Dan Marino, and the all-time pass receiver in Miami Dolphin history. Moore both in catches. He came into this season leading all of the Dolphins in catches, and 421, and in touchdowns, and he just adds another to both of those records.
Moore has been nursing a sore ankle. In fact, had a brace on that ankle yesterday. No sign of that as he leaves the Bronco defense behind and carries it into the end zone.
Ruves knocks home the extra point, and this game is even at 7. 42 seconds remaining. First quarter here in Denver. We're tied at 7.
Who has expanded your TV picture by adding 4 new corners? It's RCA. Introducing RCA's picture window TVs. Sleek, slender screens with full corner-to-corner picture. They're all picture, all RCA ingenuity, and as pretty off as on. The new picture window TVs in new larger screen sizes from RCA. Technology that excites the senses.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Oh, the chili.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get. Give me a light. Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Good, give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Watching is believing. Look into the mirror and watch Ford Escort swept away by the benefits of Renault. Shoppers who compared found Renault Encore's power and pickup superior. More room inside. They preferred Encore's European style. Upon reflection, 79 of 100 shoppers surveyed found Renault superior overall to Escort, with 550 plus America's best small car protection. Escort owners.
You weren't watching.
I was watching.
The one to watch.
Renault.
His 73rd career touchdown pass in just 2 years and 4 games, and that's the kind of offense that has excited the Dolphins, well, right down to the man himself on the sidelines, Don Shula, since Marino took over. 74 yards in 3 plays, a 69-yard strike to Nat Moore. Reves kicking toward Gene Lang. Lang at the 15. Boy, he comes out aggressively, doesn't he? To the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. George Little, number 99, 52, Robin Senglein with a tackle on a 23-yard return. 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Let's go back and look at that touchdown again as Dan Marino dropped back. He sent Nat Moore just down over the center. Moore gets behind the defense. Dennis Smith, number 49, the man who's trying to catch up with him, and Dennis back for the first time since his shoulder injury took him out of the lineup. Could not catch up with Nat Moore.
Winder on first down. And a flag is down, and we're going to get a block in the back against the Broncos along the sidelines. Jackie Shipp made the tackle for Miami, and the first penalty of the game apparently against the Broncos. There it is. Gene Barth is our referee this afternoon.
Illegal block in the back.
Sounded like Clarence Kay through all that feedback through the public address system. As Kay, the second-year tight end from Georgia.
Already caught a nice pass in this game. More known for his blocking abilities rather than his pass-catching abilities, although Dan Reeves said it's not because he can't catch the ball. We're going to get more passes thrown to Kay.
Final seconds, first quarter, 7-all. Lang with a 10-yard run for Denver, and Marino answers with a 69-yard strike to veteran Nat Moore. Elway in trouble. Down he goes, and with it is a flag as Kim Beaucamper, the veteran from San Jose State, from the backside downs Elway, and we may have a hold as well.
Holding call will be made, and Beaucamper beating Dave Studdard on the play. Studdard only had 1 sack all of 84.
Penalty will be declined.
Second down.
Dan Reeves, as is the case with Don Shula, the vice president and head coach of his team, and the AFC Coach of the Year with his excellent 13-3 mark last season. 9 seconds left in the quarter. Elway in the hole. Second down and long. And there's the gun, the end of the first period here at Mile High Stadium in freezing Denver, Colorado, where the score is Denver 7, Miami 7.
Raise your hand.
You got it.
Raise your hand.
You know it. You feel confident, secure.
If you want to feel confident, raise your hand. If you want to feel secure, raise your hand. If you want protection that helps you feel dry all day, raise your hand and reach for sure.
Confident, confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure.
It's great for kids to be in the NFL Super Pro Club, right, Eric? Right, John, and your kids can join us. Hey, there's an NFL Super Pro. Welcome to the club. Every Super Pro member gets an ID card from their favorite team.
Wow.
This Super Pro membership certificate.
Gee.
And their team decal.
Wow.
And a team calendar with action photos of their favorite stars. The NFL Fun Book and newsletters full of inside information. And this standing board to track their favorite teams to the Super Bowl. Right, Eric? Oh, yeah?
Oh.
It's all worth much more than the $7.50 membership fee. And it's easy to join. Send name, address, name of favorite team, and $7.50 membership fee to NFL Super Pro Club, Post Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can join us.
Part of the 75,000 fans here at Mile High Stadium. Most of them had to come with some brooms or some device to sweep off 6 to 12 inches of snow that fell yesterday and last night. The temperature to start today was 29 degrees. There are the numbers in the first quarter.
Statistics favoring the Dolphins slightly in yardage, slightly in favor of the Broncos in time and possession, and of course dead even on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the one play 69-yard pass was the one outstanding statistic of the quarter. Elway second down and long, 25 yards for a first down, almost intercepted by Brzezinski. It was in his hands. It'll be third and long for Denver, but first let's go to NFL 85.
Dick, at the Astrodome, the Oilers really gave the Cowboys a tussle, but then with less than 2 minutes remaining, Fred Cornwell catches this short pass from Danny White. It's the winning TD. In the process, Dallas sacked Warren Moon 12 times. That ties an NFL record. Dick.
All right, Bob, here in Denver, 7-all and 3rd and 25, staring at John Elway. The Dolphins bring in the extra defensive back, Robert Sowell, from his own end zone. Down the middle, almost intercepted, and actually Steve Watson, the intended receiver, broke up the play. Lyle Blackwood, 42, had a much better shot at catching the ball than did Watson. A very dangerous pass thrown by Elway.
One of the things you'll notice, and you'll always see it when Elway plays, he throws the ball so hard that it kind of surprises those defensive backs. A lot of times they get it in their hands, but they cannot control it. It happened to Brzezinski just moments ago, and it happened there on that last play.
But rolling against your arm and throwing deep downfield on a crossing pattern.
Tremendous power. He really can whip the ball.
Chris Norman to kick. Mike Kozlowski, who played his college ball nearby at the University of Colorado, is deep for Miami. A wobbly kick. Kozlowski at his own 47. Whoa, what a hit. 98, Ricky Hundley, an All-American at the University of Arizona, #1 draft pick last year. Did not sign initially and was picked up by Denver with a #1 pick from Cincinnati. It's 7-all.
Don't tell me you know about turbos until you go have some fun with this little puppy. The turbo on Mazda's new 626 GT is a new design that lights up at low RPMs and stays lit. But maybe you're not ready for this much fun.
Introducing Mazda's new 626 GT Turbo. 0 to 60 in 8.1, top speed 119, and a price thousands less than you'd expect for this level of performance.
Careful now. This one's mine.
Starting now, the fun starts here with Lou, Sally, Rob,
look who's working
Frank.
For a charm and a Coors Light beer at the Silver Bullet each and every
They're
night.
fun.
Coors Light's fun.
So before I can do anything, I get blindsided by this lineman named Everett. We called him the Mount.
Mount Everett.
They're human.
Happens to people all the time.
Coors Light, please.
Couldn't handle it.
They make you feel at home.
Arnold Baller. Give me the quarter. Rob, you got a quarter?
And you're invited each and every night.
We're gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight, sipping on a cold Coors Light, party right. Silver Bullet won't slow you down. It's the most fun place in beer in town. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Stay tuned, you hear?
By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with a Silver Bullet. By Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. And by Quaker State. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Back at Mile High Stadium, Miami starts for the first time in Denver territory at the 47, a 7-all tie. Out of the backfield, Tony Nathan to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 7, and a flag goes down. A late hit going to be called against the Broncos.
That's a dumb penalty. You don't want to give your opponent better field position than they have. Miami inside of Denver's territory.
Personal foul. Late hit number 58, 15-yard penalty.
Steve Busick, inside linebacker for the Broncos.
Let's go to the end of that play. You'll see Marino reading the play well, gets the ball up, and again, a very quick throw Tony Nathan on the ground, and Busick coming just speared him on the ground. An unnecessary shot, and the official quickly threw the flag.
15-yard penalty takes it down to the 25 and a first down for the Dolphins. 30 seconds gone in the second quarter. Nathan did not see the ball. Marino, all he could see was Rulon Jones applying a lot of pressure.
That's the kind of pressure that they want to get on Marino. They want to get in his face as quickly as possible to keep him from being able to watch downfield for those receivers. Rulon Jones all over him on that play.
I'm going to run down all the scores for you. The Raiders won at New England. Washington loses it in Chicago 45-10. 28-7, a surprise Kansas City over Seattle. 17-10, Dallas bests Houston. We'll give you the rest after this play. 2nd and 10. It's Lorenzo Hampton for a couple of yards to the 22-yard line and back to the NFL scoreboard. In overtime, the Giants won in Philadelphia. 43-28, St. Louis a winner against the Packers. The Cardinals are tough this year. Detroit a winner at home against the Buccaneers, 30-9. 27-20, Minnesota beats Buffalo. 7-0 early. San Diego leading Cleveland out in San Diego. The Jets have a 12-0 lead at home against Indianapolis in the second. They're up to date here at 7-all. 3rd down and 8 for Marino. Moore has a first down and maybe more. Touchdown! Nat Moore, second score. Did he step out of bounds? Down at the 12-yard line. There's a flag down over there. We may have had a peel-back block by another receiver that'll go against Miami. It is against the Dolphins to take the touchdown away.
Apparently a clipping call against the Dolphins, and will move the ball back about to the 23-yard line.
Illegal blocking it back. Number 88 offense will replay the 3rd down.
Vince Heflin, number 88, but see how quickly that ball zips. That's a zinger. Nat Moore, another big catch. His was the big touchdown. There's the shot in the back. Heflin coming up to try and block for Moore. Simply smashed a man in the back. Otherwise, Moore has a touchdown.
The penalty marked right at the spot where the other line of scrimmage was, so it's 3rd down and 8 again. The middle, and Nathan can't quite get his hands on it. Marino had a touchdown. The pass led Nathan a bit too much as he was open out of the backfield. Nathan going straight downfield. So in will come Fouad Reveiz, the rookie from the University of Tennessee. Boy, that volunteer club last year had 2 outstanding kickers. Reveiz, picked in the 7th round by the Dolphins, has made the squad here. And of course, Jimmy Colquitt was the punter for Tennessee last year, and he is now kicking for the Seattle Seahawks. Reveiz, this will be a 40-yard attempt. Distance and just inside the upright. Reveiz hits again. He's 8 for 9, and Miami leads for the first time.
If you think there's no room for improvement in small trucks today, then go let the dog out, because you wouldn't want to know about Mazda's new Cab Plus. A small truck that's really big inside.
Introducing Mazda's all-new B2000 Cab Plus. One of the roomiest cabs in its class, includes room back here for 2 adults, plus unusual levels of quietness, ride, and handling. It's also the lowest priced extended cab truck by hundreds.
You wouldn't know anybody who would want something this special, would you?
Now there's a remarkable new telephone system that has the capacity to grow as a town grows, no matter how much it grows. And its lifespan is virtually limitless. Because, you see, it has the extraordinary ability to incorporate new technological advancements as they come about.
G.
No, GTE. When the big Q flows, America goes.
Still beautiful, Dad.
Took your brother through college, take you wherever you want to go.
On Quaker State.
Right. Smooth oil flow is what you want, protects the engine. See, Quaker State starts with Pennsylvania-grade crude, delivers stable viscosity.
You get great protection with the big Q.
Hey, how come you know so much?
From listening to you.
Quaker State. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
One of the most respected defensive coaches in the NFL, Joe Collier, for so many seasons here with the Denver Broncos. Don Shula yesterday complimenting Collier. They've got to get into his mind if I'm going to beat Denver today.
You see his book. He's got all the different varieties of plays that the Dolphins run, and he's reviewing right now. Of course, wants his defense to tighten up a little bit. Marino exploiting them on a couple of deep passes here very quickly.
Gene Lang and Vance Johnson are deep as Revés kicks a low skidder. It's Vance Johnson. He's got brilliant speed, and he's knocked out of bounds by the kicker Revés at the 38-yard line. He had a long touchdown catch last week in the Atlanta win. 25 yards for Johnson.
When you rent one-way from most car rental companies, there are strings attached, like the drop-off charge at the end of the line, the one you pay to help get their car back. At National, there are no strings or mileage charges, because we have a whole fleet of cars available for one-way rentals, and they're just $15 a day more than our regular low daily rates. So the choice is yours. Rent one way or the other. National Car Rental, the way to go one way.
They believe in liberty, Liberty Mutual Insurance. Families that put their confidence and trust in our experience.
We're Liberty Mutual for your auto, home, life, and business insurance.
America believes in liberty, Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Rebate, rebate, rebate.
Rebate? What are you croaking about?
The big Champion spark plug 25-cent rebate.
Champion rebate?
With every Champion spark plug, I get a 25-cent rebate. If only I had a truck or a snowmobile, a chainsaw, even a snowblower, I could save up to $5 on Champions.
Fred, how do you know all this?
Well, Frida, you see, actually I am a prince.
Save up to $5 now during Champions Big.
Rebate.
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 Two of the quality teams in the AFC NFL. Miami matched against Denver. The Dolphins lead 10-7. In the cold weather as a player, how did you accommodate yourself? What'd you do to protect?
I was one of the strange ones. I wore the same outfit in temperatures like this as I did in 100 degrees. I would put on a full T-shirt as opposed to a half T-shirt. And when it got down below zero, I wore some gym trunks underneath. But most players today will have thermals on, will have something to try and keep them warm.
Broncos start from their 38, trailing by 3. That's Steve Watson in motion. Down the middle to Clarence Kay in heavy traffic. Elway finding a small crack to drive that ball through 3 Miami defenders. Bob Brzezinski finally made the tackle. It's a first down at the 46.
Elway faking the little toss right there to Winder. Now this is a planned rollout, gives him a little extra time, and I think he threw that ball to James Wright, 87. Went right over Wright's head and into the arms of Clarence Kay. Made an extra 5 yards in the process.
17 yards on the throw. James Wright, the H-back, and then he'll stay in to block for Elway. Screen to Lang, and a flag is down. Incomplete on the toss. And we've got a hold against the Broncos.
Second time today that the orange-shirted offensive line has been called for a holding. Paul Howard very close to where that flag went down, but let's let the official call it.
60 offense, holding.
You defensive lineman, you know the men who hold. You know it was Howard.
Yeah, they call Howard Buns. That's short for Paul Bunyan. You see him right at the right-hand side of your screen. He's almost tearing the shirt off of that defensive lineman. That was Doug Betters, 75, coming in from the outside. Paul Howard had his shirt locked up, just about pulling it off his back.
First down and 20, Denver. 12.5 minutes left in the first half here at Mile High Stadium. 75,000 fans. Again, it's 10-7 Miami. Elway off the fingertips of James Wright. Wright out of bounds there at the 50-yard line, but he didn't have the ball with him.
on the far sideline. The signals are going in from the defensive coordinator, Chuck Studley. Is that Studley? Kind of hard to see. That's who's signaling in the defense. Studley, of course, calling the defenses. That was not Studley. But those calls go into Glenn Blackwood, 47. Blackwood, the man who is responsible for feeding the defensive changes to this secondary. In this particular situation, they've got long yardage personnel on the field. He's come off for the sideline.
Wow, Blackwood, his older brother, is in the deep safety slot. 2nd and 20. Elway scrambling. And will duck out of bounds. Doug Betters had a beat on him. He's out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Betters, what a player he is. A Pro Bowler last year, picked in the 6th round out of Nevada, Reno. He played at this part of the country 3 years at the University of Montana before I went to Nevada, Reno. Makes his home up in Whitefish, Montana. He's the best pilot in Whitefish.
Well, I'd say they don't have that many up there. He's a good skier, too. And yesterday, as we were standing out in that snow, he says, did you bring your boards with you? And I said, no, but you could sure ski on a day like today.
3rd down and about 18. Now make that 20. It is 3rd down and 20. Elway in big trouble. Swallowed back at the 31-yard line. 2 backup linemen, Mac Moore 91 and George Little 99. Get the sack and a 13-yard loss.
They put 2 of those youngsters in there when they put the 4-man line rush in, and they both got to Elway. Elway likes to do what I'd call a Tarkenton roll. He'll start one way and roll out the other way. Got his feet tangled. Otherwise, I think he might have been able to outrun those defensive linemen.
Chris Norman, his 4th punt already today. Kozlowski deep at the 29 for Miami. Fair catch, Kozlowski at the 31-yard line. Now Miami will start at its own 31 with 11 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first half. Dolphins 10, Broncos 7.
Some of you are being asked to choose a long-distance phone company. If you don't choose, someone's going to choose for you, and you know how that could make you feel. So if AT&T's clear long-distance connections and full services are important to you, send in your ballot. AT&T Long Distance, for over 100 years. When you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way by making the choice yourself.
Call any Air Express company and ask if they'll guarantee to give the exact status of your package within 30 minutes or your money back.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Call someone else and ask if they'll guarantee to deliver your package on time or your money back.
Well, gee,
Then call Federal Express and ask us the same questions.
Absolutely, positively, or your money back, sir.
Looking at things from a new point of view, and it's feeling strange to you. But McDonald's is the place that brings a smile to your face.
I like your glasses.
Really? No matter how many changes you go through, nothing hides the real beauty inside of you. It's a good time.
How many French fries do you see? 9.
For the great taste of McDonald's.
The NFL plays here on NBC. First, the Pittsburgh Steelers battle the Miami Dolphins in a rematch of last year's championship game. Then, the upset-minded Kansas City Chiefs face the Raiders, or San Diego meets Seattle. And before the games, join the team that's putting the fun back in football. NFL 85 on NBC.
Don Shula, 23rd year as a head coach in the NFL. Joe Collier, 26 years as a defensive genius in the old American Football League, now the AFC Broncos. Tony Nathan, some running room, and he slams across the 40-yard line and close to a first down. 9 yards for Nathan.
And that's a real battle of wits between those two. Shula, of course, calls the offensive plays, although Marino calls a few. Collier calls the defenses. And Shula, when he has all of his tools so bright in the way he plays, there are the signals going in from Collier. Very sophisticated defense. Shula just saying, do what you want.
That's what it looked as if
it looked like there's a confusion as to who was going to stay on the field. They'll be lucky to get this one off in time. I think he's going to audible. There it is.
2nd and 1. Actually a first down. Nathan made 10 on that first down carry. Marino almost caught by Hardy despite the fact he lost his footing. Hardy down on the grass and still almost pulled it in. He was a great athlete in these parts up at Utah, was Hardy.
A little bit of a smile for Marino. You know, it's amazing that this turf is in such great shape. Last Monday and Tuesday, they had the Bruce Springsteen concert here. There were 19,000 folding chairs down on the field. And the next day, they had to go out there. You can see a little bit of a track running out across. It's just kind of a semicircle. That's where all the people walked. That was kind of an aisle where they could get to their seats. But they did an amazing job of getting this field back together for this game. It's in beautiful shape.
Pressure, incomplete to Nathan. Ricky Hundley and Steve Busick were there for Denver. By the way, Rick Dennison, an ankle injury, and they'll check on him at halftime. But in the second quarter, Ricky Hundley getting an extended chance to play. He's been crying for just that. Hundley, number 98 for the Broncos.
Hundley in much the same position as Jackie Shipp was. Both of them trying to learn how to fit in with a complicated defensive system of pass defense.
And Marino testing just that. Matt Moore moves into the backfield with Nathan on 3rd and 10. Good protection and the bomb for Clayton. Too far. Dennis Smith and Louis Wright on the coverage. So the Dolphins will have to punt as Marino goes for the long bomb and fails.
One of the things you're going to see today on the line of scrimmage is Carl Mecklenburg, number 77. Watch him right here. He's faking a three-point stance, and just before the snap, he'll drop back into coverage. Watch him now as the ball is snapped. Mecklenburg looks like he's coming in and now drops back into coverage.
One of those things, a quarterback thinks he's going to get one thing and then a different coverage. Roby nails it high and to the sidelines and out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 18-yard line. First down, Denver at its 10:29 left in the half.
Radio Shack understands that a computer purchase is a serious... with a telephone hotline, training, education, and excellent service. Tandy Computers, in business, for business. Tandy, clearly superior.
They hunted him down, murdered his friends, and took the only thing he would kill for. You gotta cooperate. Right? Wrong. Now, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay.
Remember Sally Winder promised to kill you last? I lied.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Commando. Let's party. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 4th at a theater near you.
Most people rent a truck over the phone. A truck they haven't seen or driven. Now, that can be risky, unless you ask the right questions. Like, how old is my truck? Does it have power steering, automatic transmission, air conditioning, a radio? You didn't get all those questions? That's okay. Just ask for the truck that's the same color as your yellow pages, Ryder. And that'll answer all your questions. Ryder, the right move.
The NFL plays here, Kansas City.
A war dance may bring them yet another victory over L.A., but this time on the grounds of the Coliseum, where the Chiefs have never won before.
The NFL plays here, Los Angeles.
The Raiders will be taking no prisoners in this red-hot rematch.
The Chiefs battle the Raiders. The action starts with NFL 85.